Hello and welcome back to another video on the F1 Journal and to the Turkish GP race review, where Lewis Hamilton clinched a record-equalling 7th F1 title, joining Michael Schumacher as the only 7-time world champions in history after an amazing Istanbul victory from 6th on the grid. Lewis Hamilton is now statistically the most successful driver of all time, holding or sharing all of F1's biggest records. Lewis Hamilton delivered a stupendous drive to victory in the wet and unpredictable conditions. In a race which numerous drivers could have won in challenging wet conditions, Hamilton pulled off an unlikely but fitting triumph from 6th on the grid to seal his 7th title and 94th win of his unprecedented career. Already the record holder for most victories, pole positions, podiums and points, Hamilton's equalling of Schumacher's prestigious titles record means he is now statistically the most successful driver ever. Incredible Hamilton also lapped the only man who could have denied his of the title on Sunday, Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas, who finished 14th and spun 5 times on a torrid afternoon, showing raw emotions both in the cockpit and when climbing out of his car in Perth Farmway. As he realised the staggering scale of his achievements, Hamilton said, "I'm lost for words. I've got to say thank you to my family. We dreamed of this when we were young. Watching the Grand Prix, this is the way beyond our dreams. It's so important for kids to dream the impossible. You've got to work it, chase it, and never doubt yourself." Hamilton's 7th title has been won with 3 races to spare in the 2020 season. Sergio Perez finished 2nd for Racing Point to tie his best career finish. The Mexican was 2nd in the race opening stages behind teammate Lance Stroll, who had impressively led from his out-of-the-blue pole before the Canadian's race fell apart after his 2nd pit stop. Stroll finished 9th in a disappointing end to an otherwise impressive weekend. Perez came under attack on the final lap from Charles Leclerc, but a late lunge backfired on the Ferrari driver, who lost the final podium position to Sebastian Vettel. It was the 4-time world champion's first trip to the podium this season. Both Red Bulls could have won the race, but spins for both Max Verstappen and Alex Albon in promising positions put paid to the team's hope. Verstappen ended up 6th with Albon 7th, both were beaten to 5th by McLaren's Carlos Sainz, who raced strongly from a penalised 15th on the grid. Hamilton was always in the box seat to close out the championship this weekend. It had looked for most of F1's return to Turkey that it would unlikely be clinched via a podium appearance, let alone a race win. Struggling with the low grip Istanbul Park circuit, Mercedes registered their worst qualifying result of the turbo hybrid era, 6th and 9th, and their fortunes did not appear likely to improve when rain started falling in the hour ahead of the race. On full wet tyres at the start, Hamilton made a strong gateway and moved up to 3rd behind Stroll and Perez on the first lap, but he was soon shuffled back down to 6th and dropped behind Seb Vettel, who stormed the start from 11th. A poor start from Verstappen allowed the Racing Point to fall 1-2 through the first corner, and Stroll and Perez threatened to race away from the pack. Indeed, Hamilton was already a full pit stop behind the runaway Stroll inside 5 laps, but the race turned and it started to dry sufficiently for shallower intermediate tyres to be fitted. While Stroll still led Perez, with Verstappen spinning out of contention when chasing the latter, their advantage over the chasing pack shrunk with Albon, Vettel and Hamilton all emerging as potential race contenders. Leclerc's pace on the new pack of intermediates triggered others to head to the pits, including Stroll, who started to struggle on the worn inters. Hamilton, who moved into 2nd when Vettel pitted again and Albon spun out. Overall, the Mercedes pit walls request to follow suit with fresh tyres instead hunted down Perez, who also stayed out. Passing the Racing Point with 22 laps to go, Hamilton comfortably pulled clear and, despite his lingering risk of late rain, managed his tyres brilliantly to win by 31 minutes and put the most authoritative seal on his championship victory. Before I go, here were the final classifications. Lewis Hamilton, what a drive, just totally dominant, well ahead of everyone else, and yeah, just showed his greatness. Perez 2nd, what a drive from him to hold on. Vettel and Leclerc, they were both outstanding coming through the field, but Leclerc really should have had that position. You could say the same for Carlos Sainz. Great drive coming through the field after a tough day yesterday. The Red Bulls will be disappointed. Max Verstappen definitely had the pace to win that. Alex Albon, you do feel like that spin could well have cost him a Red Bull seat because he was really in contention for that win. Lando Norris, I think he'll be pretty pleased coming from where he started, but maybe disappointed to finish behind his teammate. Stroll obviously gutting, he did so well, but not much he could have done. Ricciardo and Ocon, they just didn't really have the pace today. Kvyat and Gasly, neither. Bottas will be bitterly disappointed, and then there's no surprise with the ones down there, all through retirements, all ones you wouldn't expect to finish. So yeah. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, and subscribe to my channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.